That's right, Lucy. Yeah. I'm not going to read the Jeremiah text to you today. It is full of words that prove that I had 3 semesters of Hebrew in seminary school, courtesy of the Presbyterian Church. But I'm going to tell you what it says because it's a critical text in the life of the prophet. So here's what it says. The promised land, which the Jews are tied to, because they're tied to the land that God has given to them, is under siege by the Babylonians. And the Babylonians are about to come in and take the people into exile. And the people are afraid they will never return to the land again, the land that God has given to them. And so they're afraid that they will lose touch with God when they lose touch with their land. And what happens is Jeremiah's cousin comes and he sells him a plot of land. And they take the deed and the record of the sale and they put it in an earthen jar and they bury it deep in the ground. And the reason the prophet does that is because he says, once again, land will be bought and sold here in the promised land. It is a message of hope that even though they're about to be exiled and will spend almost 300 years in exile as a people, they will eventually return to their home and be able to know the God that has protected them through their lives. That's the story of Jeremiah. I'm going to read to you today from Psalm 91. Then I'm going to read the gospel, Keith. I'm with you, okay? Psalm 91 will sound familiar to you. You know the tune it has been set to music to. It sounds like this. You who live in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty, will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the hunter and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wing you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a defense. You will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that stalks in darkness, or the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your refuge, the Most High your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, no scourge come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Those who love me I will deliver. I will protect those who know my name. When they call me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them and honor them. With long life I will satisfy them and show them my salvation. And then from the 16th chapter of Luke comes the story of Lazarus, not the same Lazarus that is in the Gospel of John and dies and is resurrected from Jesus, but from a parable that Jesus tells. And it goes like this. There was a rich man who dressed in purple and fine linen and who feasted sumptuously every day. And at his gate lay a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who longed to satisfy his hunger with that fell from the rich man's table. And even the dogs would come and lick his sores. The poor man died and was carried away by the angels to be with Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. And in Hades, where he was being tormented, he lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham far away with Lazarus by his side, and he called out, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am in agony in these flames." But Abraham said, "Child, remember, during your lifetime you received your good things, and Lazarus in like manner evil things. But now he is comforted here, and you are in agony. Besides all this, between you and us a great chasm has been fixed, so that those who might want to pass from here to you cannot do so. No one can cross from there to us." He said, "Then I beg you, Father, to send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, that he may warn them, so that they will not also come into this place of torment." And Abraham replied, "They have Moses and the prophets. They should listen to them." And he said, "No, Father Abraham, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent." And he said to him, "If they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be convinced, even if someone rises from the dead." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Russian novelist Dostoevsky grew up right next door to the poor hospital in Moscow. His father was the chief medical officer there, and so as a young boy he had interaction with the poor who would come to his father for medical care. In talking about the folks he encountered with his mother, she used to tell him, "Poverty is not a sin. It is a sin to be rich and humiliate the poor." I want to talk today a little bit about humiliating the poor. It certainly seems relevant to our biblical text, as it appears to suggest that the rich man spends eternity in agony, at least because of his mistreatment of poor old Lazarus. Won't give him something to eat, won't give him medical care for his sores, won't give him a place to lay his head. But the poor, and maybe even humiliating the poor, also seems relevant to me because, with all due respect, we live in West Virginia. Don't misunderstand me. Now, I love where I live. I'm very happy here. I love Wheeling. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But we cannot deny that we live in one of the poorest states in the nation. 17% of West Virginians live in poverty. Nearly 278,000 are eligible for SNAP benefits, food stamps. And do you realize, because I sure didn't till I moved here, that at least 4 counties in West Virginia cannot offer running water to their citizens? Truly, friends, as West Virginians, the poor we will always have with us. So then what? It appears in the text that the rich man is thrown into eternal agony for his poor treatment of the poor man. He's not thrown into treatment or into agony because he doesn't examine the man's life. Not because he doesn't provide him welfare programs, not because he doesn't entertain the latest ways to bring him in. He's thrown into agony simply because he won't help with the most basic needs the man has. In fact, he doesn't see the man at all. Someone who would gladly eat the crumbs from the table, from underneath your table, isn't asking for much. But the rich man doesn't even know he's there. See, the opposite of humiliation is offering dignity. I don't know if you go downtown in Wheeling to the Capitol Theater at all. But one of the things I love about Wheeling is we have the Capitol Theater and all the programming that happens there. If you do that regularly, you know that there are at least 3 men who stake out spots from the parking garage to the front door. They stand with their cans or their coffee cans or their hands out or whatever it is. Never ask for anything. I think that's maybe because it's now illegal to panhandle in our city. But you know they want you to give something. I know each of those 3 men by name. I stop and talk to them. The one that stands closest to the garage says to me, "Oh, I got that job interview." Every time I talk to him, he's got a job interview, and he's going to get that job maybe next week. Guy who sits on the bench closest to the doors of the Capitol, he's never having a good day. "How you doing today?" "Not so good." "What would make your day better?" "Oh, I don't know." When I go to these things, people will ask me, "Well, why do you, I never give them anything. I never give them any money." At one time in my life, I would have carried socks or a t-shirt or something and given them that, but I don't even do that. I just talk to them, and people will say to me, why do you do that?" It's because I'm acknowledging the fact that they're human beings and offering them a little bit of dignity when so many people walk past and won't even give them the time of day. You know, when we started the food bag program, one of the things we heard was, it'll stigmatize the kids that have them. Everybody will know they're the poor kids because they're getting food to take home this week over the weekends. They'll be humiliated. The other kids will make fun of them. It'll be horrible. Yeah, but don't they still need to eat? Of course they do. So how do we fix that? Well, some of the schools fix it, Madison, for example, by sending food home to every kid, no matter what. They're all the same that way. No unequal anything. We did probably the first few years more food bags than we needed to try to deal with that. But we also said to the school, teach the little varmints over there to be kind to one another. I just called the children varmints. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But, children can be taught to be civil. Children can be taught just because somebody's different than you, maybe doesn't have as much money, that they still deserve to have your kindness. Now, I'm not going to get into today what kindness might look like in terms of a legislative or policy development. We can argue about whether or not that giving food stamps or having candy be part of food stamps or soda being part of that is humiliating or not humiliating. We can argue about that all the time, but all I want to say is we are surrounded by the poor in this state. Be careful how you treat people, because it might have lifelong, eternity-long effects. I want you to know that we have an exceptionally good staff here at this church. Exceptionally good. And one of the things I love about Janice Karenbauer is not that she's just a good office administrator, that she finds the papers that I lose, and that she makes sure that I sign and send things out at the right times and dates, but that she's so good with the people she interacts with who come in and out of our office. And as you know now, many of those people are recipients of our food pantry. And probably if we have 100 people come in, 99 of them are grateful and appreciative and in need. But I got a call one day, and Janice handles all those people beautifully. Beautifully. Even the grumpy ones who come in, even the 1 out of 100 who comes in and says, "Give me my food, lady." Because we have those. But one of my proudest moments was when I got a call from another social service agency in our town. One of the caseworkers calling me to say, "You know that lady who was just in your food pantry? I referred her there." And she came to me in tears because she said it was the first food pantry she'd gone to where somebody actually treated her like a human being, who listened to her, who respected her, who showed her some dignity, and still was able to help. That's it, right. Giving the poor a hand up is the opposite of humiliating. Helping people have dignity. Letting them know that they are human beings, loved by God, a God who has bridged the chasm between heaven and hell through the cross of Christ to let us enter heaven. Whether on this earth we are rich or poor, or any other category we might come up with. Thanks be to God for the love of one another and for the story of Lazarus to raise us up. Amen.